All right, guys, we're here.
Hey. Made it.
Merry Christmas, motherfuckers.
Oh, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all that stuff.
Happy Hanukkah, Happy Festivus, Kwanzaa, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever it is you celebrate. Or if this is just a Saturday to you, hey, happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday.
That's right. Yeah, so I know we originally weren't planning on going live today, but
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Yeah, this is your present.
This is your present from us.
Yeah, so.
Yep, the Wheel of Time episode was so good we had to get out here. On time, not late.
On time. The finale.
Well, two of us think that. One of us doesn't. We'll figure that out in a second. I assume it will be pretty quick and easy to determine that.
Yeah. So this is the end of Wheel of Time, and then we're doing the final 4 episodes of Witcher season 2. So next week we're doing what? Boba.
Yeah, I think Boba Fett.
Star Trek.
Yes,
I think so.
All right.
The first 5. That's what we decided on. 5 of
Yeah.
Star Trek. Okay.
Yeah, the first 5 are already out. The 6th one I think already came out this week as well. But I almost watched it the other day. But I was like, oh shit, wait.
That was a good timing.
My friends want to be friends, and they want to watch Star Trek with me. After all,
they always did.
If you are,
how about that?
If you're not watching this, if you're not watching this live, you can scope out the bottom. We'll have timestamps for when the actual review will start. And I say that because we're about to start right now anyway. So, but go ahead and check the bottom for that timestamp, and look for that in the future on all of our future reviews going forward.
All right,
guys, you got any more particulars we need to get out of the way, or are we ready to start this thing?
Dude, let's just get this double daily done.
How about just double decker? This double decker taco, no lettuce.
What do they call it? A double header.
There's double header, and then there's also like the daily double.
Yeah, daily double.
Which you were also. So I don't know what you were doing. You were crossing the streams.
You could also do like.
Yeah, I think I was
Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
Or a spit roast.
Oh my god.
Are we ready?
Right.
Hey, look, yeah. I'm super ready.
Well, let's go. Pull it.
Hello, and welcome to Three Guys and a Mic presents The Wheel of Time, a new original series presented by Amazon. I'm your co-host, The Human Dart, along with
Jason Tsunami
and David Disaster.
We're here. We made it. We
Yes.
made it. We made it to the end of season 1.
Man,
we've made it through the blight, and now we're leaving our friends in the dust. We did.
That's right.
I love it, Josh. I love you using the lingo, man. That gets me excited. That tells me that you truly are invested here.
Look, hey, for all those out there, I'm sure you can see in the title, we're here talking about the season finale of Wheel of Time. We're doing kind of like a season 1 review as well. And I would just like to come out. I know we did this last week, but I'm gonna do it again, Dave. I apologize. I'm glad that you made us watch this. I hope you feel this way whenever I make you guys watch season 4 of Disco. But I'm glad you drug us along, man. This has been it's been a good ride, and I'm sad to see the series or the first season end here. But I thought it was a solid episode.
Hey, man, I appreciate it, and look, I'm so excited about this show and this world. I just had to pick up. Start reading the books, man. I'm already halfway done with book 1. I will. There's already been some differences for the show, and I'm not gonna worry about that, talking about that here. We're just gonna focus on the show. I love this world, and I'm really excited for season 2. I cannot wait until. And look, we got a little teaser for what season 2 is going to be about. I mean, I don't know what the hell's going on with that, but there was a giant tidal wave, and it it looked like they weren't playing around. So
Yeah.
Yep.
but
I did read something. Now that all the episodes are out, I did read some other stuff going on out there, and one thing I read that this show so far has gone the way it said it has gone like very far away from the book.
Yeah.
In terms of this far, so I don't know if that's like maybe Matt related, since the guy who's playing Matt up and left. I don't know if maybe they had to take a swerve because of that, but
I did read when I was doing my stuff. I did read that the Matt situation makes the last 2 episodes a little disjointed because things that Matt was apparently supposed to do, they inserted Perrin into.
Yes.
And it left some of the storyline lacking in development.
Yeah. So,
Which is a few of the, it turns out that was part of some of the issues that I had with the finale.
yeah. I mean, so I've also read a few things here. The general consensus that I've read because I ended up subscribing to the Wheel of Time subreddit on Reddit just to get an idea because there's a lot of book readers that are on there, and what
they think of season.
Yeah, there's obviously a lot of differences. I think there's probably more folks on the Wheel of Time subreddit that didn't like a lot of the changes that were made thus far.
But this is on the people who have read the book. So these
correct.
are the readers.
These are specifically book readers, right? And that seems to be.
I do feel like there's a big difference or discrepancy between, let's say, the quote unquote readers and the non-readers, just the show watcher.
Yeah. So, one thing I think, I agree. One thing, like I said, based on what I've read, and it's just I couldn't tell you the sample size, so don't take this, take this with a grain of salt. That's for sure.
Possible.
Yeah. So it does seem to be that the people who have not read the books seem to enjoy the show more because they're able to just they're just taking it as it's given to them without the comparison, right? And the people that have read the books and are still enjoying the show, basically what I've read is they're kind of just separating the two in their brains. They have what is what the books, like book canon and show canon, and they don't really try to make the two fit. They just kind of take them as two separate entities, right? So yeah, I mean, there's a comment in the chat that I think is relevant to this, and it says, how do you put 5 pages of reflection on screen? I think that's super relevant, right? What I've, as Jason would say, what I've listened to with the books instead of read, because I'm doing the audio books, is there's quite a lot of internal dialogue. There's quite a lot of describing of the room, and there's a lot of description. Robert Jordan was very descriptive. Is very descriptive in his writing, and that's just not going to come across on screen properly unless they did like 20 episodes a season and like 2 hours per episode. You'd have to do something crazy.
Unless this was like 24 and everything was happening fucking real time.
Yeah. So I mean, overall though, I just to sum up, I've loved the season 1, and I'm excited for what's to come. So.
Yeah, I mean, most of the reviews I've seen, largely every review I've seen has been very positive. I haven't come across anything that's been negative about the show or anything, so it seems like it's been pretty well received.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at... Go ahead, Jason.
I was going to say, like, just on my, digestion of this season, like, I've enjoyed the whole season. I did not dislike the finale. I just, in my personal opinion, like I felt like the finale just kind of fell flat a little bit of what maybe my expectation was a little bit too high. Maybe.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Not to cut you off right there, but how did you feel when you watched The Fellowship of the Ring and it ended the way it did?
Oh yeah, I mean, and that's what I've fallen back on. Yeah. Is like when you like a fellowship of the Ring, you think that movies over like a couple of times.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of keeps going, and you're like, what are we doing here? So I agree with you in that regard, that the finale, I guess what I find worrisome is that this ending for me left me with more questions than answers that I had going into the finale. So I don't know if I assume that's on purpose. I don't know how the book is because I've never read the book, but
yeah, I assume that's the desired outcome.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And I will say this: I did not hate the finale, but I could see this finale not hitting everyone the same.
So last question.
I don't think I'm the only one.
So last question, Jason, and I know this is an impossible question, and answer it to the best you can, and if you can't answer it, cool. Let's imagine that this show was already 3 seasons deep, okay? And so you were binging it for whatever on your own time, right? And the finale ends the way it ends, but you have the ability. But you have the ability.
I'm clicking it right now.
Yeah, but you have the ability to immediately start season 2.
Correct.
Does that change? I feel like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No. Look, I know what my problems are, and if you're
and that wasn't a call out, right? I'm just curious your thoughts there.
No, and if you're a listener of the podcast, I'm not changing my feathers or anything like that. I have certain issues in my brain, and this one just kind of hit some of the buttons that I had issues with. Again, good episode, but it didn't feel like a finale to me.
Gotcha. Hey, that's fair. I guess, guys, you want to just
because it's just the first battle of many, Fossil.
That's true.
Correct.
Correct. Book 1 of 14. So we don't. I don't know how that's going to translate season wise, but
we'll see. Hit that recap, Fossil.
Yeah.
Are we ready?
Do it.
All right. So Wheel of Time finale takes us 3,000 years into the past to start off. Goes back to, I assume, the last Dragon Reborn and his choice.
Correct. To
attempt to take down the Dark One, which didn't go well. Back to present time, Trollocs are amassing at Valdara. Is that correct? Did I say
yes,
that?
Yes, sir. You got it.
Okay, good. They're amassing outside the gate of Valdara. Rand and Moraine plan to use Rand to channel through a figurine to destroy the Dark One.
Yeah.
Things happen quickly. Yeah. Things happen quickly as Moraine is literally left powerless, and Rand is sent into a dream state to make the choice, the good or the bad. The Trollocs mow down the Valdara army, while the women who can channel flame out, destroying the Trollocs. And Egwene and Nynaeve take turns saving themselves. Perrin just watches everybody die and allows Pat and Fane to kill the ogre and steal a horn that was supposed to go to Rand.
This was not a good Perrin episode.
No,
it was supposed to help the Dragon Reborn. Rand snaps out of the dream, destroying the Dark One, throws the deuces and says, "Hey, I would rather roam the earth than endanger my friends when I go mad." And some ships show up and create a giant tsunami to kill a small child.
That's accurate.
Yeah.
That kid is super dead.
So a couple of potential addendums there, Fossil. We don't actually see Loyal perish, right? We see him get stabbed.
True. I mean,
we know the rules.
I know the rules. I'm just saying, like, he was standing over him. He looked at him. He's like,
"Dave, did you check his IMDb?"
He goes, "Stabby stab."
I did not. I didn't want to ruin that.
Okay.
And then he just stands there and let those dudes like walk right out the door.
Yeah. So
or balcony or whatever they were.
Yeah. So the Horn of Valir, that they mentioned that in the show, that is supposed to be used in the last battle. To summon like heroes of old to help the Dragon Reborn defeat the Dark One, right?
Well, thank God Perrin was there to say. Never mind.
So,
Well, Pat and Fane had him questioning everything.
Yeah. You've also brought up, Jason, that Rand defeats the Dark One. Obviously that's not what we witnessed.
Obviously,
right?
That's not what happened.
Yeah.
Yes,
so
can we take a second right there?
I do have some theories if that's where you're going with this, Josh.
I was just gonna kind of jump into favorite scenes real quick, and I was gonna say one of the things I had was just every scene with Ishmael, who is the Dark One.
Yes,
you said Ishmael.
Yeah,
he is. He stole. He stole.
Dude, that dude's fantastic. He's really good. I did my favorite character and least favorite character based off the season strength. But if I was going to do episode strength, I would do Ishmael. Do very good. I thought it was pretty cool, like when Rand shot him in the face with that arrow, and then he pushed it in and switched over to his regular face. He's like, "Oh, this is better."
Yeah, dude. When Moraine got stabbed in the neck, like through the neck, I was like, "Bro, that's your highest paid actor on this show," and you just stabbed
Amanda
her.
was like, "Is she really dead?" I was like, "No."
There's no way.
I was like, "Damn, we went Ned Stark here."
Yeah,
that would have been.
Never mind.
Yeah, no. But dude, I love their conversation, their interaction. I mean, it's not to compare this, but we Jason and I brought this up several times that Rand kind of gives off Anakin Skywalker vibes, and if he's giving off Anakin Skywalker vibes, Ishmael definitely is Palpatine in this instance, right? But in a good way. Like I'm not a big prequel fan guy, so I mean that with the utmost respect. But no, I agree with you, Josh. Like that whole scene with him and Egwene, that I guess
at the farm,
a potential future, right? Is Ishmael basically is presenting.
All you have to do is see it into existence.
You have to just will it. Yeah. I can teach you how to use the power. And
to even stop death.
Yeah, let the hate flow, and you can get it right. No, I love it. And dude, when he froze time, Ishmael froze it's all fake, right? Like the whole everything is just in Rand's brain. But he, when he froze time and he sliced Gawain's throat, I was like, oh my god! And then Rand's like, stop! Like the blood's just coming out. Like, dude, I'm a bad person, but I thought he was gonna kill Joya. I was like, oh no. I don't want to see that on screen. But I loved all of that.
What was your favorite scene, Dave?
I mean, that's got to be that, right? Like, it's got to be that whole exchange, and with Rand kind of breaking free from that, and quote unquote smiting out Ishmael. But here's what I think actually happened. I think he got bamboozled. And the reason for that is I rewatched it to make sure I wasn't wrong. As Ishmael is like burning up or whatever, disintegrating, he smiles. Okay? I think that was all a trick. I think in either case, he was tricking Rand into breaking one of his seals.
Yeah,
so
you think this is like Die Hard and they need the FBI to cut the power to break the last seal to get into the $640 million bearer bonds.
It's funny because when what made me think of that is I sent you a picture of this, both of you guys, I think, is I was wrapping Christmas presents while watching Die Hard. And that's what made me think of that. I was like, dude, like that's why, because Pat and Fane basically said earlier in the episode, or maybe like around this time, that the whole plan was to lead them there. Like they weren't trying to kill them; they were trying to get them all there. And I'm like, well, why does the Dark One want them there, right? If it's not to kill them, because he needs Rand to break him free, right? And so
that's the impression you get when Moraine is holding that piece in her hand.
Oh, dude!
And Lan says, "I thought that was supposed to be unbreakable," and she was like, "It was.
It is."
Yeah. So I think that was Rand inadvertently did that, right? I also want to point out, I know, Jason, I'll let you go. I'm sorry. I don't mean to take everything. But I really love the moment when Moraine is talking to Ishmael when Rand is under like a dream state. And like he takes her ability to channel away. and he's, he kind of calls her out, like, what are you gonna do? And if he chooses the dark, and she whips out a knife and puts it to his throat, she's like, you don't think I wasn't prepared for this?
I like that scene, but at the same time, like, I'm pretty sure he could just snap his fingers and that knife would just melt like butter.
I think he was very limited with what he could do, honestly.
Yeah. No, like, as soon as she started to channel, he turned it on her. And then
I thought about that.
He appeared to be concerned by that.
I thought about that.
I get that. I just feel
I think he can only touch the one. I think he can only touch the one power, but she was just going to kill him with her hands. I don't. I don't think he can touch that because he's still technically trapped.
Hey, look. I was about to say, because technically, we don't even know if he was actually physically there.
I don't think he was.
Physical being.
No.
So I agree with you. Like, that I didn't have an issue with that. I was just like, no, I wonder if he could have just, melted that knife or just controlled her.
That would be really anticlimactic if that was the case.
Exactly. So, I mean,
he's not there. He's still leached onto the back of somebody trying to gain some strength.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Harry Potter
he's
style.
still doing like the Voldemort eating popcorn and shit.
Jason, your favorite scenes?
My favorite scene was also a scene I actually ended up having an issue with, but my favorite scene is when Lady Amalissa, the sister of the king, and I think there's 4 or 5 other ladies there that can
there's 5 total,
channel,
including her.
So 4 others.
Yeah, they absolutely just decimate the Trollocs.
Yes,
and then you get to finally see what happens when somebody consumes and uses just too much of the one power, because you'd kind of heard about it before, like it just consumes you, but you don't know what that is, and it literally just you burn out, like you burn from the inside out, and you're just fucking a piece of charcoal.
Well, like the first 2 women got absolutely annihilated.
Yeah, because they were the weakest ones.
Correct. And
I really like that scene.
Yeah, I had the battle, so I had that whole battle there for Fardara. That my favorite scene, though, unless we were gonna expand any more on that.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, dude.
Go ahead.
So there was one scene in particular that has sat with me since I watched this episode, and it was the intro. So we're watching the intro, and I'm like, who are these people? Okay, it takes a second. You realize it's a flashback. You realize this is the original dragon. This is the guy that broke the world. And then they pan to the window. And, the first time I watched it, I saw it, but it didn't hit me. Yeah, I was just like, wait, what?
There's flying.
So, I stop, I go backwards, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And so I go back and rewatch it, and I'm like, holy shit. It never, I don't know. That it shook me, because it never dawned on me that, in this type of series, because, I mean, look, here's my frame of reference, Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones. So, seeing other things like that, it had never hit me that there was ever going to be a futuristic aspect to this show. I knew this happened in a different timeline. I didn't know it was Earth necessarily until she said Earth later on in the show, which also was kind of an interesting thing. But
Earth, motherfucker.
Yeah, welcome to Earth. But I was just I'm still I don't even know what my real opinion is on it, other than it just
when they say they broke the
takes me
world
in so many different ways, and where this show can go.
When they say they broke the world, they literally broke the world. It took 3,000 years to get from flying vehicles back to the Iron Age.
Obviously this is all, hypothetical situation, right? But how far into the future, if this is theoretically Earth, right? How far into the future was the point where we saw in the open, and then
Dave. Dave,
what?
How do you know that we haven't already reset and we're just climbing our way back to that time?
Well, I know. That's true, right? Like that's obviously true. Well, I mean, dinosaurs and stuff like that. But like, I'm just curious, like, what your guys' take on that is. Like, it's just I agree with you, Josh. I don't know like where the discussion point is. I just thought it was like a really cool scene, right? Like, and
I will say that there are. I do have. Because I just think of these things, but the technology has gotten completely obliterated.
Yeah.
And you have a reset when the wheel breaks. But the one issue that I have is that if everything was broken, they were still talking Aes Sedai and rules of men using the one power in this 3,000-year-old future, I guess.
Well, it seemed like there was it seemed like to me there were men Aes Sedai.
There was male Aes Sedai. So they weren't. There was no madness,
or at least maybe it wasn't
as
well
prevalent
known at the
because
time.
So
there was still something said to that effect. Like there was still something that the woman said that was a little bit condescending of the fact that. Of the men that were going to go do this quest to kill the Dark One.
Yeah, so and this is explained a little bit better in the book, so I have a little bit of an advantage here. But the male side, and this I believe this was already said in the show, but the male side of the One Power was corrupted basically. And I could be saying this a little bit wrong here, but it was corrupted basically after Lews Therin kind of broke the world in trying to seal. It was not corrupted by Lews Therin, but it was corrupted by the Dark One during that exchange, right? As he's being sealed, he corrupts the male side of the One Power and creates the whole madness, right? And so basically the world as a whole loses half of their ability, quote unquote, to fight him and his minions because the men will go mad and they can't really channel, right? Without going mad and fucking shit up. So smart move on Ishmael's part to kind of basically handicap them
in the future.
We have a listener here that describes this as the Age of Legends. That's what I told him. I said, I read that. Like, I've seen that out in the world there, but I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
Yeah, I don't think I'm far enough in the first book to really understand that part of it, but I have seen that as well.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll come across that sometime next season.
Yeah.
In the meantime, who's our favorite characters for the season?
The season, or do you want to do this episode, or both?
I did the season.
Okay.
For season, I'll go Perrin. I'm just gonna give it to Perrin overall, and that's mainly to do with I just thought the actor was really solid.
He is. I thought he was wasted in the last two episodes.
But from a season perspective, I gotta give it to Perrin. I really liked what he did. I mean, look. Just a like, small honorable mention. I was probably gonna give Rand this if we were doing just this episode. I'd give this episode to Rand. I thought they finally gave Rand, the actor, like a chance to really flex his chops, and I thought he did pretty good. I don't think he's really had. Purposefully, I don't think he's had a lot to work with, which is odd and weird because in the books, Rand is like the main character so far. Like it's very clearly he is the guy that you're following, like primarily through the story. And so they finally gave him his moment to shine here in the last episode. But overall, I'll give it to Perrin.
All right. So thanks for now. Let the adults talk. Since you eliminated Rand. Go ahead, Josh.
For me, for the entirety of the series, I felt like Lan Mondragoran.
No!
Yes. I felt like he had just like the strongest, arc all the way through the 8 episodes.
That's a good call. I could have easily gone with Lan.
I am not even going to go with like Plan B. It's Lan.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Josh.
Well, I was just gonna say, I mean, you always like. There's never a time where you don't root for Lan, right? And there's plenty of opportunities where his back's against the wall, or he's having to deal with Moraine's dumb shit. Where you're like, look, we're all married, right? There's plenty of times where you have to deal with things, and so I think we can all put ourselves in Lan's position and be like, I feel you, man.
But you know what? We don't have katanas or swords and training, and we're not. Look, I'm not a bad motherfucker like Lan. Okay, like that dude.
And he was asked to carry the torch when his fallen brother fell.
Yeah.
It's up to him to try and juggle the shit that's going on with all these idiots. I mean, dude, while Moraine is like down and trodden, and then he's got to deal with Nynaeve.
Dude, he put the move on her.
Dude, he was spitting some serious game on Nynaeve.
Oh, at the end or at the last episode.
I will hate the man because it is not me, but I will love him.
But I will love him.
Protects you.
No, he said I will love him if he makes you smile.
Oh, if he makes you happy, yeah. I was like, fuck, fucking Lan, dude. I want Lan to put it in me.
You want Lan to put it in you? Jesus.
I was taking notes.
Yeah.
Oh, you're taking notes. You're like, all right. I'm gonna use that one.
I'm gonna tell this on the wife.
Yeah.
I mean, look, a happy wife, happy life, man.
That's right.
If you can steal from the best, do it.
Yeah. What about least favorites?
Hey, real quick. Somebody wrote in. I guess this is their favorites. Is Leandrin, Loyal, and Nynaeve. So
I'm guessing. Well, look, Loyal is a good pick for sure, but picking Leandrin, I feel like that tells me you played Horde in World of Warcraft. You're just picking the bad guy here.
You definitely like evil characters. But she's love to hate her.
Oh, yeah. The actress is absolutely great.
She's good. She's a nice person.
Hate her.
And look, Nynaeve is not a bad pick at all. That's actually low key a good pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got. She does have a very interesting story to her character, and she doesn't even want to. You get the idea that she doesn't even want to be doing what she's doing with Lan. Like she feels like she is being too vulnerable.
Yeah, correct. I agree.
And look, and all of that.
I thought you meant that she was like going against her consent. I was like, I'm pretty sure she walked into his room.
Yeah.
No, yeah. But I mean, you get the idea, the impression from her that she doesn't like the fact that she's in this situation.
I agree.
Becoming vulnerable to somebody.
Yeah. I completely agree.
What about least favorite characters? I think this is an obvious choice here.
For the season, it's Rand. Unfortunately,
it's the Randolph Thor show for sure.
It is Rand 100%.
But look, Go ahead. You go first.
I get it. He is the chosen one. He's the Dragon Reborn. I get it. But like he is the whiniest. He is the one character that he's the one character that never steals the scene. It's unfortunate, and I do believe, because I think we had a commenter last week that said that he's written that way on purpose. And if that's the case, they did a great job.
Yeah. So I'll expand on that a little bit. Because like I said, I'm halfway through book one, and I think it translates better because in the books you get like internal dialogue, like you get their thoughts and stuff. And paraphrasing what a commenter said last week is imagine this is how he's written, right? Or Robert Jordan imagined it, right? Instead of writing just a very typical hero where, hey, you're the chosen one. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go to Mount Doom, and who's coming with me? Right, which Lord of the Rings style. Like I'm brave. It doesn't matter. I can do anything. All I need is my friends. Well, no, like in real life, that's not how you would be necessarily. You'd be like, hey, you're the one. Do I really have to be the one? Because can it be like somebody else? I'd rather just not do this. But hey, no, you're gonna have all this power. I don't want it. I'd rather not be the one with power. Like, I just want to go home. I just want to be with Egwene. I want to go back to the Two Rivers. Like, I don't trust you.
Quiet life.
Yeah, like, so, and that to me, that is 100% translated into how Rand is. He doesn't want the spotlight. He doesn't want this power. And unfortunately, I think that it's not unfortunate, but I think it's purposefully that he comes across on screen as kind of whiny because he doesn't want to be there. Right? Like, he doesn't want this.
Yeah.
And so in that regard, I think they are doing a good job with Rand, because I think, assuming the show goes all the way, right, and we see it all the way through the end, I think we're going to see a giant character arc leap with Rand throughout the show. I
believe that you're right. I hope the actor can pull it off.
I agree. It's going to be difficult, probably. Difficult's a strong word. I think it's just, as long as the writing is good and then I think the actor. I think the actor is good enough. I think the actor is good enough to carry it, depending on how he's written.
Well, I'm just saying, as of right now, like I know we joke around. We're comparing him to Anakin, but the actor that played Anakin never made the transition, and maybe that was writing's fault. That's absolutely plausible.
Yeah.
Well, we all know George Toy Boy Lucas isn't. He's not the best writer.
No.
Yeah, I just hope that this actor, because I don't know the actor, I've never seen anything that he's ever been in. So
I don't have it either.
Like I said, I just hope that you're correct, and that I hope that this actor has the chops to make the transition and make us like him. That's
a very fair comment, for sure.
Which I assume is the way that the books portray this character.
Yeah.
Over time, you really get behind this guy.
Yeah, but I just based on the fact that it's 14 books, I wouldn't expect this transformation to happen like
overnight.
I bet you it doesn't take place until, I don't know. I'm just gonna guess midway. Like, we're talking.
Well, so you're saying that he still might be our least favorite character after
like probably 2 or 3 seasons. I have no idea. You know what I mean? I'm just basing this off the fact that there's 14 books, and if you look at an arc, you know what I mean. You like, if it's written balanced, right? Then it's gonna take a while to get there.
I get you. Like I said, I hope the actor comes through.
I agree. Well, time will tell.
Correct.
As long as they don't have another main cast member jump ship for no apparent reason, then we should be good. All right, what's next, Josh?
Matt did have a little brief appearance in this episode.
Yeah, Matt was in there for about 5 seconds.
That was very obviously like just some random shot that they had of that actor that they could just insert him in there.
Yeah.
He did absolutely nothing. He was in there for like 5 seconds.
It was just, that might have been like in between takes when they were in that city, and they were he was just there with a towel on his head. Like,
you think he got paid for that?
He probably did. Question mark?
They got a small
Who
check
knows?
in the mail. He's like, "Why did I get this $1,000?"
And then he watches the episode, and he's like, "Oh shit, okay, I see."
Yeah.
Anyway,
I hate my life. Why did I quit?
Josh, what's up? What's up next?
Yeah, next thing, I mean, just questions or predictions, all right? So, I think there's, for me, I had 2 big questions coming out of this season right now is, what happens to the 5? All right, so we know Rand is going to go on a journey for himself there, so he's kind of going off on his own. So what happens really to the other 4, like when Matt gets reintroduced next year and the other 3?
Okay, go ahead, Jason. I have some solid theories here, but I'll let you go first.
I'll say this. I don't know, and this is, again, part of my issues with the finale, is that I have no fucking idea. Because the way that the episode plays out, it makes you believe that he destroyed the Dark One. But then Moraine says that this is just the beginning. And so I have no clue where this group could be going, because in theory, the only thing that we have to look forward to that's ominous is this army that shows up that creates this tsunami to kill a little girl.
So I'm glad you bring
I really
that up.
have no idea.
I'm glad you bring that up because I watched that scene 3 times because it's not very long. Mainly when the women on the boats, okay? And so one thing I noticed pretty after like the second time, and I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but the women that were channeling were wearing, like, they had stuff in their mouths. Okay.
2 of them. I thought there was 2 of them.
Well, yeah, there's 2 of them, but they're on every boat, and they all.
Are you talking about the Sean Chan?
Yes,
I don't know how to say that.
The Sean Chan.
Like.
Yeah, they're gag balls, Dave.
So, my thought process is that I don't think. How do I put that?
I don't know, Dave.
I feel like those women are obviously bad news, right? But I feel like those women that were channeling were like not there by their own accord. Like,
so slaves?
Yeah. Like slaves or prisoners, whatever, like they are contracted into the, like, what's the word? Conscripted?
Conscripted.
Yeah. Like I don't think they were there of their own volition. It seems.
God.
I don't know. Maybe that's just like a cultural thing.
Yeah, and that's. I'll agree with Josh on this. The issue with this, a little teaser of what's to come, is it's a completely different entity than anything we've seen before. And like, I just thought, on first glance, like, to counterpoint what you're saying, is like they had the things over their mouths. I just thought maybe that was their garb. So
yeah, I don't know. I did read a little bit about them though, and they are anti-women being able to channel.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Well, there you go.
But, I mean, they have women at the front of their boat channeling for them. So I'm confused. I don't know.
Yeah.
See, I'm afraid to Google anything with this show because it's a complete season. So, like, if you literally type in anything to Google, the results are going to probably spoil something for you. So, a listener says buckle up. So, look, I'm assuming that person is already aware of what's going on. So,
he's not ignorant. We are.
The way I read about them was, I think the phrase was, if you're a reader, you already know what these guys are all about. Got
it. Okay. So look, I'm going to get there because, look, I've already made the decision. I'm probably not going to stop reading after book 1. I'm just going to keep going. Because this shit is so good. Reading. Look, I'm listening. I don't care. I'm a busy man. Okay, I'm a busy guy. I don't appreciate this. I don't appreciate your slight, both of your slight on me for listening to audiobooks. You know what? Fuck you guys. Actually, because
well, you know what, Dave? I think you've motivated me to read the book, so I think I'm going to join you. But I'm going to actually read it because I'm a fucking man.
Because you know what I'm going to do? Yeah. I'm not going to read a goddamn thing. And you know why? Because I'm going to be the guy that doesn't know a goddamn thing going forward.
Jason, what month is your birthday?
August.
Okay, I might just not wait that long, and I might just I might just buy book 1 for you and send it to you, and you'll feel obligated to read it because I paid for it.
I will.
As long as he's held on to that laptop, I agree with you. I think he'll just keep reading that book for years.
He was like, man, I'm 8 books in. I've read the first book 8 times.
8 times, yeah.
I would probably read it because we've already watched the entire book.
You mean the first season?
But I would not read ahead. Yeah,
so how about
the
that?
One that was ahead on Game of Thrones. While you guys didn't read those books, I was ahead on Game of Thrones. Same with my family.
Jason, I'm about to tell you something, and it's going to force your hand. Are you ready?
Oh, God.
Valued listener of this podcast, in all caps with exclamations, 3 of them, in fact, just said, read the books.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Look, I will agree to read
because
the books.
Hillbilly said that. I'm going to read the books.
Well,
all right.
Yes, Josh is going to read the books, but I am only going to read the books after the appropriate season has finished
Okay,
for the book.
so you are free to read book 1
And
now.
the reason I say this is because I want to give our listeners who are only show watchers
The same
the
experience.
experience I go through that's going through their head.
And,
What
yeah.
do we got next? We using predictions and questions still?
No,
Yes.
I mean, yeah, we're still on that. So
Okay, we're just kind of spitballing now, right?
yeah. Do whatever you want.
Okay, so look, my first issue, we already brought it up. What the fuck happened to Perrin? When did he become a literal bitch? He did dick all in the last 2 episodes.
I do. I'm not trying to give the show an out, but I do agree with Josh. I feel like with the actor Matt bleeping out, I think that it.
Look, I agree. I feel like they gave Matt's plot line to Perrin, and the bad part is it makes no sense because you never see Perrin interact with
Pot on Fane.
Fane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
so I assumed that would have been Matt's spot.
So like I'm okay for a second. I'm trying to imagine if I imagine the Matt character in that same exact situation without anything changed instead of Perrin, that scene is immediately better because
Oh no, I agree because it sure looked like
it would be a callback to the first episode when they were interacting.
yeah. Like I said, I just feel like Perrin should have had no part in any of the scenes there at the end where Pat on Fane there.
So
Like I feel like all of that should have been Matt. And look again, the actor bows out.
it fucks them up.
They gotta put it together, but it still makes Perrin just look like a complete bitch.
In hindsight, would you have wanted them to just in mid-season replace the actor and just say fuck it and just have him look different?
I don't. It's tough, but I
feel like
don't know. Look, I've seen shows where I get Patrick Stewart's face like CGI'd on top of like somebody else's body, like a younger Patrick Stewart. I feel like for 2 episodes they could have just done that with Matt, like put his face on somebody else's body, even if it's just stupid, noticeable.
And paid the
I mean,
actor
look, they
the
did
same
that
amount of
with
money.
Paul Walker after he died, and they were in the middle of filming that Fast and the Furious movie.
Yeah.
Like, pay the actor, do whatever, and just get through the show. And then the next year, like,
I agree.
I
agree with I agree
have him
with
go through the
Josh.
fire.
I agree with Josh because I feel like, listen, whatever the budget is, you've committed to making this movie
Yeah,
series.
the story should never have to sacrifice.
Fucking go for it. Correct. Because I feel like that was part of the issues that I had in this episode was everything that Matt should have been doing that they injected, whoever, if it was Perrin or any other scene, because I don't know. Again, I didn't read the books, so I don't know what Matt's role is at this point, but I just feel like it made for some, I don't know if, I don't think awkward scenes
Is the right word, no.
is the appropriate word, but you know what I mean. Like it did feel disjointed.
All right. Yeah, I agree. Jason, you mentioned earlier about like, and this is going to fall into predictions, but you mentioned earlier about like not knowing what's going to happen next or what's coming next for season 2. I think there's a couple of plot lines that I can already just off the top of my head think of what's going to be talked about. So you got the horn, right? The horn is clearly important. They talked about needing that for the final battle or whatever. So they're going to.
I know, but it doesn't really explain why it was important. Did it say why it was important?
Yeah, they said during the final battle that it's going to be blown to bring back like 99 heroes of old to help defeat the Dark One.
I guess I missed that part. I knew when they were hitting with the pickaxe. They were talking about it, but I guess I missed that part.
Yeah, so that's clearly going to be important, and Rand is kind of going off on his own. They're going to probably follow Rand because now, he's channeled, knowingly now. So, he's going to, they're going to probably follow him along.
I look. I agree with what you're saying.
And then the Sean Chan.
The what?
The Sean Chan. The women on the ship. The channelers. The tidal wave.
Oh yeah. The new bad guys for the next season.
Yes.
Okay, so I got another. I got like 5 issues. So
okay. Well.
Well.
How about we rapid fire these?
Okay. Next one. What the fuck is this tell that Nynaeve has on Moraine?
We never see it, so it's not even a worthy question. Move on. What's the next one?
Yeah,
I know, but that was dumb.
Okay.
I don't. It's whatever.
The king of Faldara, goes on and on. The entire 7th episode, I believe it is, about how they've held the wall forever.
Yep.
They've never faced that many Trollocs.
On and on about how he doesn't need his father's armor, and he's the first fucking guy that dies. He's the first.
We never
guy.
actually see him die.
Dude, he takes a spear through the chest and his peg.
He's definitely dead.
Listen,
but
hold on.
Never faced that many Trollocs.
Hold on, guys. You know who else takes a spear to the chest just like that? Frodo Baggins. He didn't die. That's it.
He had mithril.
He was mithril armor on, Dave.
You only know that because you've seen the fucking movie, okay?
Well, this guy, he chose to wear his own armor and not the armor that his dad and grandpa wore that probably had mithril.
I'm just saying.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, until we see season 2 or whatever, I'm not going to say that he's dead 100%.
Okay.
Did you check his IMDb?
I don't even know if season 2 started filming.
Okay, so here's the issue that I have with Rand. He channels through the trinket.
Yeah,
obliterates the Dark One.
Yeah.
Moraine somehow thinks this is just the first of many battles, right?
Yeah.
She says that.
Yeah.
And she lets Rand just like walk off in the fucking wilderness.
Because she knows he's gonna be back.
I mean, that's not really explained. He just says, "Look,
Jason,
everybody,
the story's got to go on. What do you think is going to happen? You think they're going to write 13 more books and Rand's like fucking off in the woods somewhere?"
I agree, but
look,
plays out, in my opinion, just kind of dumb.
There's a fine line between holding the audience's hand and feeding them the exact info and giving the story time to breathe and play out, right? So I feel like you got to at least try to meet it in the middle.
I agree. The story has to continue. But when you have a scene that plays out the way it's shot in this story, within just a few minutes of itself, he's like, "Hey, does every male that channels the one power go crazy?" And she's like, "Yeah, they go fucking crazy." He's like, "Well, I think I'm just going to go wander off because I don't want to hurt any of my friends."
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she's like, Land shows up and he's like, "Hey, what happened?" "Oh, he's gone. He didn't make it." But I think this is just the beginning of all the battles we're going to have with the Dark One. But Rand, the Dragon Reborn, just walked off into the forest.
Real quick. Listener of the show says this. She can't take him to the tower. I agree, because if she takes him to the tower, he'll get fucking.
And they think the Dark One's gentle. Yeah, Dark One's he get gentle. I understand. Look, and I get that. The way that it plays out in the show to me doesn't make a lot of sense. And again, I understand what you're saying, and I understand the show has to go on. And to what you said earlier, if I could just hit play on the next episode, I wouldn't even care.
You probably wouldn't care.
It's a cliffhanger. Okay, last issue.
Then the show succeeded because you want to know what's going to happen.
Yes, but the last part, plot armor.
I mean,
the ladies helping Lady Amelissa.
Yeah.
All die from burnout.
Yeah.
But the plot armor saves the only 2 that happen to be part of the Fab Five.
They're more powerful.
Nynaeve saves Egwene, and somehow Egwene then turns around and saves Nynaeve.
I mean, look.
Yeah. Well, they're Tervarin.
They're part of the pattern. Like they are integral to.
They're important.
if you want to just like call
They're not
you,
regular people.
if you want to just use like non-show terms, like they are fated, they are predestined, they are
they have plot armor so thick. I'm not even worried that any of them will die ever.
No, that's not necessarily true, but it's season 1.
Maybe in season 9.
Look.
I'm just saying.
I think
that'll be a good season.
Here's.
I'm just saying that
here's
when everybody there dies, except for the 2 that are integral to the story, it's just not a good look.
Here's my last defense.
We didn't get a Ned Stark.
Here's my you made this so easy for me. You know what I think your problem is, Jason?
What?
You are too stuck. You are too used to Game of Thrones. I think.
But look,
if Game of Thrones wouldn't exist, I don't think you'd have that issue.
When we look, the 3 of us, especially you, Dave, because you and me talked a lot about Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones was the whole reason we even had the idea of doing a podcast. We talked about the problems with the last few episodes. Is all the main characters that were left had plot armor.
Look, because that show was. I enjoy a show based on the rules that the show gives me, and that show subverted expectations constantly. This show may not do that.
I know, and that was an issue that I had. And it's probably nothing. It's just something that I pick up when I watch the season finale. That if you're protecting 2 of the Fab 5, like what do I have to worry about any of these people dying?
Well, look, here's my thing. I hope you get comfortable. I hope you get so comfortable and so unassuming of these people that when one of them actually dies, you fucking weep.
It'll be like Ned Stark. Look, Ned Stark. I still am not over Ned Stark.
Well, that's because you're a big child. That's okay, though.
Maybe I am just a big bitch.
Anyway,
I'm just crying in my pillow each night for Nedley.
Anyway, look, we're about an hour here.
All right, so we're done. We're done with issues. Let's get on to where we're going.
Oh, I mean, I thought we already brought that up.
We already did a lot of that.
We brought up one thing as far as where we're going.
Well, I mean, I said the horn. You have Rand.
If I said,
and you have the Sean Chan.
If we have plot armor right now, again, I'll say it like I did last week. Who's the first of the Fab 5 to die? Do we have any predictions yet? Right now, I
think it's way too soon in the overall arc of the show for that to happen, in my opinion.
Perrin has taken the way of the leaf, so he is destined to get just gouged by a little baby child that just happens to be, a bad guy. And he'll be like, "No, don't do it. I'm going to call my wolves," and she's just going to go. It's gonna be a little girl. She's gonna stab that dude right in the gut.
I think you need to. I think it's not going to help you to approach this in a Game of Thrones type situation. Like,
so none of them are gonna die.
I'm just saying, I don't think you should have that thought process when going through this show. Like, I don't think you should plan on one of them dying. I think you should just. I mean, do whatever you want, but I think that is going to set you up for disappointment. Based on so far.
So, yeah, based on this finale, I was disappointed. Nobody died.
Yeah.
That's okay. This was still a solid finale.
Yeah.
It was absolutely a solid finale. It was absolutely much better season than I thought it was going to be. I have no problems. Even with the issues that I have no problems with this season. We all know that the very first season is probably going to be the least complete season.
Yeah,
because from this point going forward, I assume the budget's going to get upped.
Well, they've already reported that Amazon's already reported they're spending more money on the show, and I think now you also something else that you don't have with the first season is now you have feedback. Right, you have not ours because we're nobodies, but like you have general fan feedback of for the first season, right? So, I think the showrunners will to some extent hear a lot of the vocal feedback that they got for season 1, and I wouldn't want them to or expect them to completely mold that around fan feedback, but I think you could get some. It should make for an improved experience for everybody, I would think.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
I agree with you. Look, I'm super ready for season 2. If it was available right now, I'd be watching as soon as we got off here.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, I hope, keep my fingers crossed, that the coronavirus has nothing to do with setting all of this back. I hope everything continues on time and everybody gets through it just fine.
Absolutely.
And that done in a timely fashion so we don't have to wait like a year and a half or 2 years like we did with.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
Hey, for all those following along out there on live, we're going to hop off here for a second, then we're going to come back and do the back half season review of The Witcher. So if you want to stick around on our live feed and talk about The Witcher, hang around there for a little bit.
Yeah, give us
and I'm already on my fifth.
People, we'll be doing Witcher somewhere in the middle of the week. I don't know how that falls.
Yeah.
I'm already on my 5th beer, so it should be interesting.
Yeah.
Oh shit. In the meantime,
take it easy, everybody.
Live long and prosper.
Later.